Hey everyone, it is mid-March right now. Specifically, it's March 15th, and it's been a very interesting March. So the last 2 weeks of March, the last 2 weeks has been like pretty much storm after storm. I think we had three pretty decent-sized storm and rainfall, and it's been pretty cold too. I mean, these occasional days were sunny like this, but there's been lots of gloomy days. And just a couple of days ago, like the weather was like the daytime weather was just kind of hitting, didn't even break 60. So we had that for like a day or two. It's been a cold daytime temps, which is a bit unusual. I'm gonna kind of give you guys an update on the bloom, see how everything does, and just kind of keep in mind that this is dependent too on how far the blooms is. The farther the bloom is in the process, usually the more beat up, the more disease they pick up. So and we had quite a bit of strong winds too. We had a day where it's just like the wind, strong wind the whole day, from morning to night. So it's been pretty interesting. I have not sprayed, so I did spray once in December, right before we got into our winter, and I think sprayed the first time after our first rain, but I have not sprayed anything since then. I have sprayed one of the trees, and I'll show you guys which one that is because I do want some fruits out of that, but everything else I'm gonna just let it be. So let's kind of take a look at everything. Some stuff looks good for right now, but we'll see what happens. I like that it's really nice and sunny right now. It's early morning, but the sun has popped out. So this is Dolores. We're looking pretty good. This one is Sunrise, which I have gotten quite a bit of questions about in terms of what do I recommend for it. I haven't had good results from it, neither from the disease resistance or the vigor, but that's kind of been my experience with it. So for right now, the blooms look okay, but they're already showing some signs of disease issue. And for the most part, like everything that I don't spray for, it's gonna have some sort of disease issue. And I kind of mentioned to you guys, this year I'm not spraying, trying to set fruit or anything. I would do some spraying to try to contain any kind of disease and dieback, but I'm not spraying with the intention of trying to maintain or save or like get any fruits. That's not going to be my intention this year. I'm giving it one more year to grow out to the size I want, and then after that year I think it's going to be perfect, and then I'll begin my spraying schedule for next season, which would be like 2026. So Sunrise, Super Julie always kind of developed this really nice kind of red blush to it, but there's some disease you see on it. I like that every time after the rains, even though there's all these fungal issues and stuff that does kind of occur, the leaves do perk up. I could be watering the plants the whole time during the year, but once we get a rainfall, the leaves actually feel like it gets a bit more greener, even though I would be watering it the whole time. So here is Sweet Tart. It is looking pretty beat up. Look at it right here. It's all the, pretty much diseased. I see a little bit of tiny fruitlets that I think might hold, but either way, I'll be removing most of this anyway. So that's that. Here's the next tree, one of my larger ones. Again, like lots of blooms, just depends on how what kind of phase it's in, what stage it's in. This is Alfonso. It's already showing some signs of powdery mildew on this already, which is it's known for that. The Alfonso variety here. It's Harvest Moon. Kind of notice it, and my maha actually got beat up. Take a look at this right now. Diseased. So we see. I think this might resprout. Either if it does or doesn't, I don't have no issues with it. With maha, I know for sure. It just takes one spraying to actually get them to be healthy. I did not do any of that spraying, so. There's ice cream. It's pushing something. That right there is Brian's amazing tasting peach cobbler seeding. So Got some California Romit right there. This right here, this lighter bloom is Sophia Lucknow. Again, most of the blooms will look diseased and so forth. There's been wind and rain and mildew damage with no spraying afterwards on any of that stuff. Okay, this is Cat Saigon, Jin Huang. Here's a Juliet. This one's actually looking pretty clean for the most part. Here's a diamond. This is the Zell diamond. You can see most of the damage on this one, I believe, was from the wind. Like it stripped a lot of the flowers. I see some little fruitlets there. I don't think they're healthy fruits. They might end up falling because they're like falling off because they're nubbins, but I do see some there. Here's ambrosia. And here's my sugarcane that's kind of been leaning over. Definitely didn't help with all the strong winds that we got, but it's kind of leaning over into the plants. I'll be removing lots of these sugar canes to kind of clear up and give it a bit more space. You know, but they have worked really well as kind of like a windbreaker. You know, like I get a lot of strong wind from that direction, and they've done a real job kind of minimizing it. Okay, this is another sweet tart. You know, again, I believe at least in my area, I don't think I'll be getting any fruits on sweet tart without spraying. I've noticed that one with the sweet tart in my area, so that's just been my experience. It's not, at least for me, it's not going to be one that I could just leave alone as sprays, and it blooms and sets. So the good thing about sweet tart, and probably one of the things that contributes to its vigor, is that they don't, I have not noticed it wanting to rebloom. Probably won't rebloom without intervention, right? So I mean intervention, like if I go into this right now and break off the blooms, I think it might rebloom, but I have not done that yet. I have not experimented with that yet. I know for sure it's not going to send out more blooms. I mean, I haven't noticed that in my experience with sweet tart. So that might be a good or bad thing depending on how you utilize that information. So here's some rootstock growth blooms. Here's a Cecilo. Kind of look like about to rebloom. See, this is what I'm talking about in terms of certain varieties that will try to rebloom. I think this is gonna be 2 reblooms right there. I don't know if it's gonna be pure vegetation or mixed, but you know, this is kind of the reblooming that we get lots of times. Okay, here's a orange sherbet. That's a guava Saint Talone. Kind of blooms are destroyed. Here's a Giselle. Same thing, some powder mildew issues and so forth. Let's keep on going. It's a sugar cane that's kind of leaning way too much. Usually I show you guys the other tree. There's not much activity going on with that, so we'll just skip that for now. And let's take a look at this tree. So this one's the one that has ST Maui on it. I have sprayed this, so just kind of keep you guys in mind that I have sprayed this. So we'll see if I get any fruit set on this. Some of it I sprayed a bit too late. I tried spraying this one after I already had some powdery mildew fungal issue this section, but the other parts, they look pretty clean so far. So we'll see what happens to it. I do, if this does set fruit, I do intend to keep the fruits. This will be ST Maui. So I sprayed this whole tree. There's other varieties on here, but I did spray this whole tree right here. Here's a California Romit. Here's a Ceci Love. Ceci Love is pretty, mentioned to you guys before. Ceci Love is pretty disease prone, slow growing. Don't really recommend it, at least in our area. Here's a lemon zest graft. So I grafted this late last year. I think it's, let me try to find a tag. End of September, pretty much. That's a late graft. Usually with the late graft, they don't do much growing, and then when they push out just nothing but blooms. So this is an example one. You can see 3 bud nodes, the end tip that's pushing bloom, below that pushing bloom, and even like a couple nodes down here is pushing bloom. That's why one of the reasons I don't recommend doing any late grafts in California. Like you don't get no vegetation. So here's where the graft is at, and nothing but flowers. Here's a graft of one of my, well, here's a graft of my favorite lemon zest seedling. Very strong Alfonso spice aroma, one of the strongest I've ever smelled on anything, and it is pushing vegetation, which is yay. It's a great thing for me. Okay, I'm gonna keep on going and check this one out. The wind's kind of done some number on this one. Look at it, it's leaning. Look at the tree. It's leaning quite heavily to one side. I thought about propping up the branches and stuff, but you know what? I'm gonna just let it be. Once we hit warmer nighttime temps, once we hit 60 degrees, I'm gonna be pruning this kind of way back and getting it to kind of shape it a bit more. But yeah, look at this. It's all leaning to one side. This is right here. This is Dupree Saigon right here. Bombay right here. These long stalks right here is Jin Huang, Cat Saigon. There's some other stuff on the back here, you know, like Indi Besonara and stuff. So here's those right there is the California Ramid. Okay, all right, keep on going. Here is some more leaning kind of branching. These ones on the low end with the lighter flowers. These are cac. Cac is pretty vigorous growth, so it sent out tons of long stalks towards the end of last year. And then now it's sending the bloom, which is weighing it down, and the wind, which weighed it down a bit more. So I don't have no intention of keeping any of this. I'll probably like if it set something, I'll try to set some fruitlets. I'll try to prop it up or something. But if not, I'll be just removing. I did spray this section on the lower end a little bit right here. Did spray it, so we'll see if it stays healthy. But I did spray that once. Have not sprayed it since the second or third rainstorm we had in the last week. This reddish one is more Super Julie. This right here is cotton candy. All right, keep on going. Here is Florigon right here, and here's a gram. That's a gram. And some of my rootstocks are pushing up, but they're not flowering. There's a Juliet, peach cobbler right here, a little bit flowering. Okay, well, you know, that's an update for this mid-month. Just kind of see how everything's doing after the storms. Lots of times during these storms that kind of last towards even into spring and stuff, they do a number on the flowers. So even if you do lots of spraying and you're on schedule on your maintenance, like some of these storm and winds that comes through, they just kind of strip the blooms and destroy the flowers, especially when they're at the later stage. So okay, all right, thanks. That's one update for right now.